वक्रतुंड महाकाय कोटिसूर्य समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. So I will now chant the words on page 5. So I'll chant first, you follow first time, because some of you are new. All right. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I will now chant the first verse on the piece of paper, sheet of paper you have, okay? Karunapurna Sudabdhe Kapalita Ghana Vishwarupa Karunapurna Sudhabdhe Kapalita Ghana Vishwarupa Kiranavalya Arunachala Paramatman Aruno Bhava Chitta Kanjasu Vikasaya Karunapurna Sudhabdhe Kabalita Ghana Vishwarupa Kiranavalya Arunachala Paramatman Aruno Bhava Chitta Kanjasu Vikasaya. So, I will explain the meaning of these prayers in time. But the basic prayer, the last verse we chanted, is we are praying to the Lord as an ocean of compassion. Karuna Purna Sudabdhe. Abdhi means an ocean, boundless. Ocean of what? Ocean which is brimming, apurna. It's brimming, full. With what? With compassion, karuna. So, karuna purna sudhabde, we are addressing the Lord in that way. Kabalita ghana vishwarupa. Kabalita means swallowed. Swallowed. What does it swallow? Vishwarupa. This world which seems to be very solid in front of us, this it swallows. With what does it swallow? Kiranavalya. With the rays. Kirana is ray. The ray of what? The ray is that due to which everything shines. The consciousness due to which everything comes to light. That is the Kiranavali. Avali means a light, a row. Like yesterday we had these rows of lamps. Deepavali. Avali means a row, a line. So we have a line. So there's a whole ray. There are no lines here. Rays here is all there is consciousness. So that Kiranavalya. The world that seems to bother you, the world that seems to take make life hard for us. That world, that conceived world, that world which I project, that whole world is swallowed. Looks very solid, ghana, it's dense. Arunachala Paramatman. The word Atma means I. What do you think I means? What do we all think I means? Where does the I point? I. How far does it go? This I, this finger. To the body? Does it go any further? Goes to your mind? Does it go any further? Stops there. That is Atma, okay? That is Atma. In one way of looking. Why? Because we have the word Paramatma. See, the word Paramatma means what now? There's one more qualifier. Param. Param means that which cannot be improved upon. The limitless, the whole. Sometimes they will say supreme, but the word supreme doesn't convey anything. We have to make it convey something. So, Paramatma. And what is the Paramatma? Arunachala Paramatman. What is Arunachala? You know what is Arunachala or no? Some of you would know. If you go to Tirunamalai, what is Arunachala? The hill. This is composed by Ramana Maharshi. So, the hill is the God. The hill is also the Lord. The hill is also the manifestation of the Lord, a solid manifestation. It's a linga. Shiva linga. What does linga mean? Linga means what indicates. An indicator. Linga. So anything, you heard the Sara by Sram Swamiji, right? What is Sara? In essence. Very brief essence. And what is it? All that is here is Ishvara. If all that is here is Ishvara, any one thing indicates what? Ishvara. Yet there are some things which are more glorious than others in our view. Therefore, this hillock is called what? Paramatman here. Arunachala Paramatman. This is the surface meaning. What does Aruna mean? Sun, sun rising. Yeah? So that sun, what is the sun? Okay, how do you see the sun? How do you see anything outside? You see plants, you see trees. When do you see them? In daytime. You see them only in the daytime. Correct? Why not in the night? Because there is no light. With what do you see the sunlight? With your eyes. With what do you see your eyes? With what do you see your eyes? Some of you are wearing glasses, many of you. How did you decide what are the right glasses for you? How did you decide? You went to an optometrist. Did he decide these are your glasses? What did he do? He said, okay. He looks at your prescription and he puts something. He says, is it okay? Yeah. Then he says, wait. Takes one out, puts another one. Is this better or is that is better? I think that is better. Okay. Is this better or that is better? Who decides what is better? You decide. Who is the you who decides now? If you are asleep, you can't decide. Correct? So the mind is looking at the eyes. Correct or not? Looking at the analogy of light, what lights up is called a light. What illumines is called a light. What illumines the world? The sunlight or any light. What illumines the light? My eyes. What illumines the eyes? The mind. What illumines the mind? What illumines the mind? Is it something outside the eyes? Is it outside the mind? Is it outside the world? What illumines the mind? We have a word, consciousness, correct. But we need to understand what it's all about. The point is, that is Aruna here. That is Aruna here. Aruna is that light, sun, but not sun, that which makes the sun, that which makes the moon, that which makes darkness, darkness. It is not just light. It is that due to which everything becomes evident to me. That is Aruna. What is the second word now? Arunachala. Sandhi. Aruna Achala. What does Achala mean? Chala means what? Moving. Chalati. So Chala. What is Achala? That which doesn't move. This book can move. We all can move. The building can move. Not sure. You can move it if you want to. It's an old structure, you can, heritage building, you can reconstruct it perhaps. Can a mountain move? Hanuman can move it, okay? See, he got the whole Sanjeevani mountain and brought it from India to Sri Lanka. It can also move. Can space move? Can space move? Even Hanuman can't move space, okay? But it seems to move. When you are in deep sleep, where did space go? Is there space in sleep? Is there time in sleep? No. Where did the space go? Where did it go? Suppose you have, nothing right now. Look, anything if you take, let's say now you take this piece of cloth, right? And I take a matchbox and set it on fire. What will happen? Where did the cloth go is my question, okay? What do you find after a minute? There's just some carbon. Where did the cloth go? Did it go somewhere or did it not? Okay, you all have studied some science. Can you destroy mass? Can you destroy energy? So, where did this mass go? It is carbon, right? So, where did the cloth go? It went to carbon. What is carbon? If there was no carbon here, you would not get carbon out of it. Where does anything go back to? When you say go back, it's constituents, its cause. Where did space go in sleep? You have to say something. You can't say it vanished. Did it vanish? It didn't vanish. And morning you get up, it seems to be there again. Even in dream, it seems to be there again. But now you tell me, who knows that the space was not there? Who knows? You know. Which you? That you, does it change? Can it move? Space itself really doesn't move. Can that due to which space presence and absence is known to you, can that move? That is Achala. Achala means that which cannot move, does not move. So if you go to a temple, they will say, you have one bronze which is taken in a procession. That is called Chala. It's called Chala. And what is the one which is consecrated inside your shrine? What is that called? Moola. So in Tamil they will say Moolavar. The one who is inside. What is his nature? He doesn't move. That can be moved. We don't move it, but can be moved. What can never ever move, what is unmoving, is called Achala. So our prayer is to whom? Arunachala Paramatman. The Lord, Paramatma, I told you, we'll understand the word Parama. I will defer that for now. We will get there. Atma, Paramatma, we have a lot of time to look at. So, to this Lord we pray. And what is the prayer? Aruno Bhava. You please rise. Look at the sun. What happens to the sun in our experience? The sun rises. I'm praying. You please arise. For what? Why should the sun rise? Chitta Kanja Suvikasaya. Kanja means a lotus. A lotus. Lotus. What's a lotus? When does a lotus bloom? If you notice, if you have seen lotus, it blooms with sunlight and at sunset it closes. A lily blooms in moonlight and closes in the morning. You notice that? So now, to make the lotus bloom, what do we need? You can pour all the water you want. You can put all the fertilizer you want. You can't make the lotus open. What makes it open? Is the sun. Not in my hand entirely. The sun's rays are the grace due to which the lotus opens. And what do we have here? See? The heart. It's like this. What is it like? It's like an inverted lotus bud. Correct? What is the blooming of the lotus inside? You don't want your valves to all get separated, okay? That'll be trouble. What do you mean by that? Means the heart. See what's opening up. A lotus which is closed, you don't see much. When it's open, what do you see? It's the whole lotus which shines. The whole has to be there. So what is opening? Blooming means what? From a restricted, limited sense of being to blossom into one who is free from all fetters, all restrictions, all limitations. I look at the world, I perceive the world, I experience the world with what? With this mind. This is the Chitta Kanja. This is the lotus. Chitta is the mind. The whole Antahkarana is called Chitta. That has to blossom. And for that, what is the sun which will make it blossom? Is Paramatma. What kind of Paramatma? Who is Aruna, who is Achala. How am I going to find him? That due to which you want to find, that due which you don't find, all that is illumined by who is the Achala. It is not something you have to find. It is something that you have to see. So big difference between finding something, where are my glasses? Help me. Where are my glasses? I am looking. I am going to go all over the Gurukulam to find my glasses. Where will I find them? Will I find them? Dive deep within. Will you find it? How are you going to find the glasses? How? Point is, I am the possessor of my glasses, and I believe I am not the possessor of my glasses. Correct? Now, should I do some yogasana to find my glasses? Should I go into samadhi to find my glasses? Should I go all over using my eyes? Because finally I have to see it with my eyes. Should I go all over to look for them? What will make me find my glasses? If I knew I had my glasses, I wouldn't look. I'm very sure my glasses are lost. Now, you tell me, what is the way that I will find my glasses? See, in this case, I might said, oh God, oh, oops, there it is. I found it. This accidental finding is possible. Why? Because it's available for my hand touch and I can recognize the glasses. I don't have to see it alone. But if that which is Aruna Achala, that which is ever present, can never go, it's the sun which never sets, always shining, due to which you see and don't see. If you don't see that sun, how are you going to find it? Just ask, who am I? Ask. I will also ask, where are my glasses? Will I find it? I'm starting here because this is the, see, Ramana Maharshi is very well known for this. What? Who am I? Nan yar. Who am I? And that's a direct method. It's called a direct path. All this, why do you come and study and, take a book? What do you want to know? What do you want to know? You want to know yourself. Why do you look at the book? Will you find yourself in the book? Tell me. Why should you look at the book? So what should you do? Ask, who am I? Has it been for lack of asking that I don't know? And suppose I ask you, please tell me, who won the Nobel Prize for this year in physics? Suppose I ask, if you don't know and he says, who won the Nobel Prize, what will you get? You will get only, I don't know. So, if you say you have an answer, is the answer already known to you or not known to you? If you say, who am I? Whatever you know, you will only talk of what you can objectify. Correct? And if you talk of what you objectify, you can go as far as the mind. Even if you say, I will go further, you cannot objectify anymore. All right? So you might end up saying, I don't know who I am. Can you go beyond that? So this idea of who am I is very relevant, but that's not the whole story. So therefore, and this is why I took this prayer, is so you know what Ramana Maharshi has to say. If I picked some Upanishadic prayer, it may look like that is not Ramana's way, Ramana wouldn't say this. What does Ramana say here? It's a prayer. Arunachala Paramatman Aruno Bhava. It's a prayer. Bhava is you please be. Lot Lakara and sense of prayer, not as an order. You please arise and illumine my mind. Illumine my understanding of who you are. Without grace, nothing moves. Nothing moves without grace. What is grace? That due to which your heart is still beating. You know how the heart beats? Lub, dub. Lub, dub. Do you think that's how it beats? Yes. Puja Swami had a nice insight into it. So suppose you have a heart attack or you have some, cardiac event. What happens for a minute? Lub, No dub. Then what happens? They'll put a fibrillator and they'll give you a shock. Then what happens? Lub dub. Something happens. Then it'll again say lub dub. So what came in between? You should know. Lub, grace, dub. Lub, grace, dub. Don't think there's no grace. If there's no grace, lub. Why does the heart pump? You know, the heart says, I have pumped enough. 65 years I have pumped. What have you accomplished? You're wasting your time, wasting my time. You know, I have no better business or what. I'll at least serve somebody who will use me well. So you're making a prayer. Not the physical heart, but the thinking heart. See the word heart. And again, Ramana Maharshi loves the word heart. Hridayam. Shouldn't take it literally as the heart. We'll look at that as we go. So now, the prayer is to say, may my understanding bloom. That's what it really means. It's not my heart has to bloom, it's not my mind has to bloom. May I bloom. Even better. You know? Because if I say my heart, then I am different from the heart. Heart blooms, I am still unhappy. No. May my I bloom. To be what? To see that all that is here is nothing apart from me. This is the prayer. So we will include this verse every day in our prayers. Instead of the ones on page 4, you replace the first one, okay? Because I thought these prayers we normally use for where we use Shankara's commentary. So I said here we can use Ramana's teaching instead. All right? So you can see, even in this verse, you can see what the vision is. The Sara is here, all right? And with what do you recognize anything? If you want to know what is this, with what do you recognize? Not with the hand. Finally, with what do you recognize? Your mind. Where do you know anything? Where does any knowledge take place? Only in the buddhi. See, we sometimes use 4 different words. Though there is one inner instrument, so it's an inner instrument. Instrument is that which you wield, that which you use. That's also something to be appreciated. If you do whatever, wherever if you follow your mind, then the mind becomes the leader, you become the follower. Suppose you have a pair of scissors. Does the scissors decide what to do? What to cut? Or do you decide what to cut? You decide, hopefully. But what happens to the mind? Mind goes somewhere and you follow it. You know? Where the mind leads, there we go. So this is called antahkarana. It's really an inner instrument. And that instrument is looked at in a fourfold way. There is a thinking faculty, a determinative faculty, which is called buddhi. Just a functional name. Then there is an emotional aspect. One where there is, is this true, is this not true? Thinking, doubt. This is called manaha. Then you have a capacity to recall, a capacity to look further, that is called chittam. And then there is one aspect, which is what? I. That is also the inner instrument. That is called ahankara. What is ahankara? Ego. We will translate that as the ego. Aham. Aham in Sanskrit means I. This much Sanskrit you have to know, okay? Aham means I. Because Ramana will ask what? Koham. Who am I? Right? Aham. So this aham is one of the aspects of the inner instrument. It is not the whole instrument. It is one aspect, if you look at it functionally. So with this mind alone, I have to know anything. So suppose you want a child to learn something. The child has to have the capacity to know. And as an adult also, if I want to know something, if you want to know, suppose you want to know what is the, you know, what is the meter in which this verse is? The Sanskrit things are metrical, which means that there is a very clear rule about what kind of letters are there in the verse and how many quarters or parts they are shifted into, how many vowels in it, how many long, how many short, lot of things are there. Suppose you ask, what is this? So if you look at the end of this page, bottom, it will tell you, fifth verse, and after the fifth verse, it will say, Panchakam Arya Gitau. What is Arya Gita? I don't know, Swamiji. That is a meter. Chandas. How would you know what is a meter? Meter means, as I said to you, like you say Bhagavad Gita, how do you chant? Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakav pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. Then another verse of Gita says what? Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinnati naroparani. Very different. You chant it very differently. Try fitting it to this one. It will be a mess. 11 characters in each part. Whereas in the first one, in each quarter there are 8. It's called Chandas. I'm saying, with what do you know Chandas? With your mind. With what do you understand E is equal to MC square? With your mind. With what do you know there's a flower? With your mind. With what do you know anything? Your mind. I have mind. Can I know E is equal to MC square? Understand it? No, not right now. What do I need to understand E is equal to MC square? I need a mind which is well informed. Informed in physics basics, informed in mathematics basics. I can't understand E is equal to MC square unless I have that refined or cultured or informed mind. Therefore, this chitta kanja suvikasaya, we can interpret 2 ways. I gave you one way first. I gave you the absolute meaning. Now the second. What is that? Unless my mind is available for me to think, to know, to understand objectively, that mind cannot give me what I'm looking for. You see a person who looks different from your normal culture, dressed differently, different hairstyle, different way of talking. Sometimes, more often than not, there are prejudices in our mind. You see a person and you say something. So, what we see, it's not just in India, it's everywhere, right? You go to the US, even now there's a huge perceptive gap. Law will give equality, but still there's a colored person and a white person. What happened in South Africa when Gandhi was there? He was in a train and he was thrown out from a carriage. For what reason? Whites only. Whites only. Why? And if you are a black, what are you? You don't deserve to be in the first class. Why? Because you're black. So this is something common. But I'm saying, you look at your own mind. Do we or do we not have prejudices against certain gender? Sometimes gender means don't think only 2 genders, okay? You have to think of the other genders now. Transgender. How many people can accept transgender as they're fine? You may not say so, but in your mind, do you accept them as normal? We have to look. A fellow, you're driving in Coimbatore, you're on a traffic light, suddenly one guy will come to your car window. Transgender, dressed as a woman, and he asks you, all he is doing is coming in that dress and asking you for money. Would you give it? Do you accept the person? Or let's say you see somebody in the Gurukulam coming in a swimsuit. Would you accept it? What's wrong with that? It's all a dress code here, dress code, right? No shorts. Why? Why no shirts? Culturally not accepted. Suppose we see an old person here. My teacher comes. What do? I go flat. So Swamiji would say, in Japan, when you go, namaskara is, how do you give namaskara there? Right? You bend. How much you bend tells you how much respect you have. So Swamiji would say, I would get more than 90-degree bend. Right? It's a way of showing your respect. All right? But suppose you went to the US, how will you get respect? There is no bending. There is no namaskara. And if a son meets his father, how does he convey his emotion? Hug. Is there respect in it or not? It's there. But a grandfather from India goes to the US and he sees his grandson. When grandpa comes, Grandpa, what is this? No namaskaram? What kind of upbringing does the kid have? It doesn't even do a namaskaram to me. This kind of idea comes or not? I'm just giving you some examples, but you look in your mind and see how many prejudices do we have. They will become apparent only when it shows up. What we see is always determined by how we see. If I have colored glasses, like this children, when we were children, we would get these vendors with this balloon and all that stuff, and they'll have these colored glasses, green glasses, red glasses, and you fight for it to get it from your dad. When you wear it, what happens? The world looks a little different. And now modern day, what do? It's hot. What do? You wear Ray-Bans glasses. And then what happens? The whole world looks a shade shaded, It doesn't look bright. So now you will not feel the sun. So now these pair of glasses are also they are photochromatic. So if there's sun, I don't need to put on a new glass. I just have to look and it'll go cool. Correct? But what do I see? It's blazing outside, but what do I see? I don't see it's blazing outside. Which means what I see is not just my eyes. What I see depends on my glasses. And my prejudices, my value systems, each of them are what? Like glasses. So what you see is what only you see. Nobody else sees what you see. Is that true or not? My world and your world, they may seem to be alike, but are they? Are they totally alike? We may both agree that there are two mics here. That we will agree with. It's not hard. But if you go all the way, can you say that you see the same? It's impossible. Right? Therefore, if you want the reality totally, what should you have? A mind which is totally objective. A mind which is totally objective. What is totally objective? It does not trigger any demand in your mind. You're just factual, okay? You're just factual. I see a flower. This is a very tiny rose. I wish it was bigger. The color also looks not interesting. Should have been better, Swami's table, what kind of rose is this? Don't people know what to keep here? See how the thinking can go, right? I don't know who put it. I should find out who put it. This is how the mind can go. Right? No smell. Non-fragrant. All these things, so many chemicals they put and they just grow roses and they sell them. No roseness in it. Throw it away. Why? Because I have an idea of what's an ideal rose. Rose should be pink in color. And it should be that paneer rose, it should have that nice smell, desi gulab, should smell good. I should be able to tell it's a rose from 1 mile. That's a rose. This is a pretender. This is not a rose. That's my view. But for the fellow who grew it, he says, I can grow and sell so many of these. It's easy to store, easy to transport, and there are enough buyers to buy it. That's all that matters. Why should I grow this paneer rose, which is a pain in the behind, Takes too much effort, you get a few flowers and you can't get money out of it. This is the right thing. What's his view of the rose? It's very good. The paneer rose is useless. Right? You go to Europe, what kind of rose will you get? You will never get a fragrant rose. Generally. Maybe somewhere they do, I don't know. But what do you normally get? It's all about visual. How does it look? You want a brinjal? Big. You want a tomato? Big. Big. Make it bigger and bigger. And then what do you do after that? You taste it. Tomato tastes like mud. Then you go for organic tomato. And what do you go back to? Tiny fellow. Tastes good. So I'm saying, tomato, you look at it and you say, no, this is not a tomato. Bias, this is not a tomato. Anything we look at, do we have bias or not? The UPS on? One light should come. I don't know why it's not coming. We should check later. Okay? No, this light should be there all the time. So I'm saying, how do you become free from prejudice? Is it possible? Is there anybody here who can say, I have no prejudices? Every one of us, being human being, being born, it's impossible to be free from prejudice. Which means we are never, ever totally objective. How do you become objective? How do you have a mind which doesn't resist what is? That requires this lotus to blossom. That's also blossoming of the lotus. So the verse fits in both ways. One is you recognize your wholeness, and to recognize your wholeness, you require a mind which is capable of recognizing the wholeness. Therefore, the prayer goes all the way. To help me grow in terms of my own mind, to a person who can see what is as what is. There is nothing wrong if I said this rose is small. There is nothing wrong if I said this rose is not fragrant. This is objectivity. What changed? A rose is no good. That good and bad are subjective. Nice and not nice, subjective. It's okay, it's not okay, generally subjective. What is objective? You can list all its shortcomings in your view for a purpose, but it is still objective. But when I judge a person, not just any other person, what do I think about myself? Do I have a good opinion of myself? Or do I project a good opinion about myself to others? When I go out, do I take care of my makeup properly? Why? Why do I do it? Why do I do it? Because I want to be acceptable or not. See, we may not do it in every step, but I'm saying in some areas you will do something, correct? Somebody once came to Puja Swamiji to learn, and he had long flowing hair. And he wanted to study Vedanta. And Swamiji noticed that see, Vedanta is all what I told you. Finally, what? You have to know Atma is Paramatma. I am what I want to be. And this man is very conscious of his hair. So, at some point, he got the person's hair cut. And the man went crazy. Because he didn't expect that to happen. He didn't expect that to happen. Because his whole personality, his identity was so much in his hair. So when you let go your hair, you lose an air about you, You carry an air. This is what Tirupati is about sometimes, in one way. There's so much identity based on my hair. And letting go the hair means letting go my identification with it, handling it. It's not easy. Because you have a certain view of yourself. What do I look like? No, you have a certain opinion about yourself. And it's not just the hair, it's the nose, it's the eyes, it's the whole body. And it's about how you feel. Like somebody said yesterday, I am very slow. Nothing wrong. That's how the person feels. But I'm saying, you're slow compared to what? Compared to your own imagination of where you want to be. You have set a line for yourself and you say, I'm slow. Are you slow with everything? Are you slow with eating? Are you slow in breathing? Are you slow in talking? What do you mean, I am slow? You can say, I'm slow with reference to learning a verse by heart. That's understandable. My capacity to get things in memory is limited. Understandable. I am slow. Self-judgment. I am brilliant. Self-judgment. I am an idiot. Obviously self-judgment. Right? But the other person shouldn't know. Covering up what I know about myself so others don't see it. 3 guys were going on a street. Devadatta, Somadatta and Yajnadatta. 3 guys, okay? Hey Devadatta, Devadatta turns around. Hey Yajnadatta, only Yajnadatta turns around. Hey Somadatta, he turns around. Hey idiot, all 3 turn around. Why? Why do all 3 turn around? He is very sure he is not Devadatta. When he is not called, he doesn't turn back. Very sure he is not Somadatta, he doesn't turn. Only when you say Yajnadatta, he turns. But when you say idiot, he turns back. Why? There must be some self-identity, right? Would we do the same? Means some part of me has the identity, I'm an idiot. This is how the human mind is. Highly judgmental. And you cannot discover the Upadesha Sara, which is to say you are the whole. There is nothing that is wanting in you. Cannot discover that when you take yourself to be an idiot. It requires your mind to grow enough to see that whatever you can see, whatever you can judge, is not you. Do we have a problem with the world? Some parts of the world? You wish some parts of the world were different? Your spouse should be different? Your children should be different? Your boss should be different? Whole world I don't care for. My little world, my past should have been different. My future should become different. Do we have it or not? You tell me, do you want the world different? For what reason? You want the world to be different for what reason? I want a live audience, okay? Don't be too serious. This is a light topic. You want to feel better. So you feel better because something changes. And if the fellow turns back to what he was, you again feel down. Right? So you want something to change to humor you. Is that right or not? So is there a world non-acceptance or a self non-acceptance? You can't accept the world is not true. You can't accept your response to your world. Is that true or not? Sometimes in a well-meaning way perhaps. Swamiji, I come to class, all Vedanta classes. My husband won't come. I want him to come. Why should he come? Because I want him to come. Now the point is this. Everything else is fine. If my husband also comes to class, I would be very happy. Let us say. You tell me, is the problem with the husband? Or is the problem with you cannot accept your own mind which says my husband is not interested in what I am interested in? Let the husband be. Grant him the freedom. That's called objectivity. You're free to wish that he joins you. You're free to even tell him, hey, look, Vedanta class is very good, please come. You're free to do anything you want. But are you free enough to accept the situation? Are you free enough to accept your own mind, which is looking at the situation in a given way? That is called suvikasa. Your mind has to blossom enough, be objective enough to be able to accept the world and how the mind looks at it, including the subjectivity of your own mind. When the mind is subjective, the only way you can be objective is to accept that my mind is subjective. So the topic is not ordinary because it's dealing with a human being, and the human mind is self-judging, self-critical. So to gain that status of relative freedom from self-judgment is the first process of growing. And when that mind has grown enough is when the wholeness can be recognized. So that whole teaching is not one verse. Okay? So we will come back and look at it. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.